Hello, my name is Jackie, and what I'm going to do with you today is I'm going to take you through the process of creating a mandala rock. Now, mandala is Sanskrit for circle, and it's been used all the way back from ancient times as a meditative process, and it's an artwork that is created using circles. So we're going to do a very simple dot mandala on a rock. And creating a mandala is about the process, not necessarily the final result. You can create some pretty intricate mandala designs that are focused on a circle, but it's just like happiness, it's about the journey, not necessarily the destination. So today we are going to create that dot pattern, and it's really simple. So first thing I want to do is I want to talk to you about the tools that you're going to need. So you're going to need a rock, and I like kind of rounded surface rocks, but if you don't have those, so be it. You could use pieces of paper and just create your mandala on paper if you like. And then what you need is some colorful markers. So I have these paint markers, and they're Sharpie markers, and they're made with oil paint. And I also have some other markers, which are Posca markers, and they have acrylic paint in them. And then I have some very simple permanent Sharpies that are a variety of colors. So any one of those markers would do. And if you have crayons and or pencil crayons, you can create that on a piece of paper. And often what I do is sometimes I create it on a piece of paper first, and then I redo it on a rock, so I've got some practice. So what I am going to do is begin making our mandala rock. Okay, so here we are. I have two relatively round rocks, and I have a flat rock too that I found. This rock I've pre-painted. I've used glow-in-the-dark paint, and I just painted it around the front. And then this is just a regular, ordinary flat rock, and this is the mandala that we are going to kind of create today. And this is another flat rock. And so as we begin, I just want to talk to you about a compass. And you notice how a compass has north and south, and it has west and east. And the idea of the compass is a circle, and then it has points on the circle. And so that's what we're going to be doing with the mandala is that we're going to be making reference points of north, south, west, and east, and in between northwest, northeast, southeast, southwest. So let's start. I'm just going to pick rainbow colors. And so what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to start with a white center. And then why don't we make a rainbow, like the rainbows that you're making and putting in your windows nowadays to show support for everybody that is going through this pandemic. And while, I begin, see how that yellow didn't work very well? So I'm just going to grab another yellow and start here. And so there's another circle, right, on the north, and another circle just the same size on the south, and another circle just the same size to the west, and another one to the east. And while I do this, it's nice meditative way to just dump all of those negative thoughts out of our mind and just focus gently on creating the art. You don't have to worry about all those stresses and pressures. What you do is you just focus on the present moment, right here and right now. So there we go. So we got a white dot in the middle, and we got all those other dots in yellow around the outside. So now my plan is, I think I'm gonna go like the rainbow, right? And so now here's the secret. What we're going to do here is, in between each one of these yellow dots, I'm going to put an orange dot. So let me just show you. I'm going to put my orange dot there, and my orange dot there, and there, and it's starting to form a nice little circle pattern. And the other thing I'm noticing is that my orange isn't quite as, see how I've gone in between each of the yellows and I'm building out. So, and if I notice that, oh, my orange paint isn't very bright, I just go over it again. And again, I'm focusing on the present moment, just thinking about orange dots. Not thinking about other things, just letting those thoughts go as they come through my mind. If I'm thinking about some of the chores that I have to do, I just push it out of my mind and I focus on the art. So there we go, that's our second layer. So now, I think I'm going to go with some red. And I'm going to now go put the red in the middle of the orange and build my red circle out. So here we go. And what I'm noticing as I create my pattern is the farther I go out from my center dot of white, the bigger circles that I begin to be able to make. And if I was a math teacher, I'd be able to tell you something about the circumference as you go from the distance of the center and how but I'm not a math teacher, and I'm not worried about math for me right now. And I'm just focusing on making the little circles, and there we go. See how we've got, now we've gone white, yellow, orange, red. What comes after red and the rainbow? I think it's blue. I think it's blue. So let's try some of this nice, beautiful light blue. Wow, that's a pretty color. Ooh, that's pretty. And see, all it is little circles. See how it's not very complicated? It's just patience and going nice and slow and focusing on just making a circle. There we go. See? And now we've got the little blue outside of the red. And then, what's the next color? Well, I think the next color in the rainbow is purple after blue. So let's do that. Let's do some purple. And you notice how my circles are getting much bigger as I go out further and further. And I can just sit here and not think about the future and not worry about the past or worry about the future. I'm just focusing right here, right now, on the present. Just creating my little circle mandala on a rock. Look how that is building. See how pretty that's getting? And then on the rainbow, after purple, if you go back to the beginning, it would be kind of green, because green is right in between purple and... So I don't know. How about I do something different here? How about I make a little leaf and I just kind of color it in there? What do you think? Make a little leaf? So I just make a little point and a little circle, and then I just color it in. There we go. See how nice and peaceful it is. I love doing my rock painting in my little sunroom here because I get lots of sunlight, which helps the body make vitamin D, and vitamin D is necessary for making the neurotransmitters that help us regulate our emotions, like serotonin. And regulating our emotions is all what it's about. You know, if I'm angry, if I'm upset, if I'm frustrated, if I've heard too much on the internet, that upsets me. Because sometimes if we spend too much time on the internet and distracted by things, we lose touch with what brings us happiness. So for me, just doing little rock paintings in my sunroom, and the birds are outside chirping, sunlight. There we go. We have a very simple mandala. And there are a lot of other ways that we can begin to add some detail to that. And it's simply just more dots. So if we take our yellow dots and we put a white dot in the middle of our yellow dots, see, suddenly we're starting to add more detail. And maybe I put a white dot in between each of my orange dots. In between each one of my orange ones. And see how you begin to build out a pattern. And maybe I want to have a white dot in between my red dots. And the pattern then builds and builds. And you know what? I don't know where I was going to go with this, but I'm starting to see a really pretty pattern as it begins to develop. So, you know, it's whatever you see in the moment that you want to have it begin. Like I talked earlier about, you know, happiness is a journey. It's not necessarily a destination right from the beginning. It's the journey that you take. And everybody has a different journey. And everybody takes different time along that journey. And meditative art is a wonderful way to help us slow down and focus on the present moment and let some of the troubles and worries just stay away for the time being while we focus on our own personal happiness. So I hope that this gave you enough instruction that you can begin to do your own beautiful mandala rock painting.